Thank you very much, Patricia Rosenfield, the Rockefeller Archive Center. So I wanted to go back to the challenges that you posed at the beginning, Bill, and that Peter also elaborated, and I know George knows a great deal about, and particularly the historically correct narrative that might be put forward. I'd be interested in what the three of you think might be the right way of framing that historical narrative that might lead to changing public opinion, because I think we have people who are really at different levels very knowledgeable and wanting to act, but if there's not broader public awareness and commitment to it, it won't happen. So where's the historical narrative that we might draw on for that?
Well, we have, Peter, if I might just mention, we have now started a social media campaign on the positive contributions of migrants. We're letting migrants speak for themselves. At our council meeting, we have 157 member states. We meet at the end of November every year in Geneva. And we have always have a segment called Migrants' Voices. We had people like Dikembe Mutombo, a Congolese a big basketball player, and they tell their own story, both the troubles they had integrating, the tough times, and what it's like, and what good things happened to them. We let them tell their own story. You take a fellow like Mo Farah, the British will contend, he is not a Somali, he's UK. Didn't he win 3 gold medals? Of course he did. That's the kind of story you want to be told. We want to keep those stories out there, that the positive contributions migrants make. That's one way we can do it. Let the migrants speak for themselves through the social media. I think that's probably the most active campaign we have going right now.
I think that we need factual arguments on a whole range of different subjects to change the national debate, apart from the emotional connection that we all should feel when we see horrible events. I see UNDESA, population division of the UN here. I think facts about demographics are terribly important. I mean, the lowest birth rate in the world, Germany, the fact that it probably needs 1.5 million a year, if I'm correct on that figure, to maintain in 30 years' time the ratio between retirees and working population. Italy, Spain, and so on in the European context, the same issues, and even more dramatically, as indicated by Bill in regard to Japan. I think that's very important. I think that there's a wealth of evidence about the positive contribution of migrants right across the world. In European, without exception, migrants have lower unemployment rates. They make positive fiscal contributions rather than being a burden on national exchequers. They have a higher level of innovation, and they have a greater appetite for education. These are facts that have to be put out there. So I think facts are an important part of this. And looking at, I'm only a recent convert, and I can barely do it, I'm such an ignoramus, to Twitter. But the tweets that I am getting are absolutely foul, and the fouler they are, the more I delight in it, because any idiot who reads them, or non-idiot who reads the tweets that come in to me telling me that I'm determined to destroy the homogeneity of peoples. Absolutely, I'm dead bloody right. I'm up for that. If I could do it tomorrow, I would, including my own. I'd still cheer for Ireland to win the World Cup, and I wouldn't be slow to tell you that your great success as a nation is, of course, due to Irish immigrants. But having said all of that, we have to get up there publicly, and we have to fight. And from the little tiny, and I'm a tiny player in this play, I think getting to the media, to me, is key. Mm-hmm. Getting to the media is key. We have to be out there talking to the media. It's great talking to you guys, but I suspect from nodding heads that it's preaching to the choir. And I mean, we really have to preach to the choir to get you to preach to the non-choir. But we also have to preach to the sort of crackpot lunatic brigade that dominates so much of our media in the modern world and are creating a toxicity which is a bloody disgrace. And we have to start saying it. Well, we are saying it, but that's all we can do.
George, can I just add one point? Peter reminded me of it, and he's absolutely right. I think the evidence base is extremely important. People have fears, and we have to deal with these fears. They're not real, but we have to tell them why they're not real. We're dealing with stereotypes. So what are the fears? The fears 2008, 2009 recession, they're going to take our jobs. Second fear, post 9/11 security syndrome, every tourist is a potential terrorist. Third one, the most important one, fear of loss of personal or national identity. We have to move, we'll never get anywhere with the debate on identity. That person doesn't look like me, why are they wearing those funny clothes, what's that funny accent, you know, all these things. We did a survey in 2011. Every country in the world we surveyed, including the US, grossly overestimated how many foreigners were in their country. US thought it was 30%, in fact it's down around well below 20%. Italy, double also. So we moved the debate from a debate about identity to a debate about interests and values. Can the warmth of our welcome, the smoothness with which people are allowed to integrate, can we then not hope that they will also share our values and interests? This is really what it's all about. But we've got to do that. If we don't, we'll lose.